Personal log, Lieutenant Commander Jenivan VanDorra, Science Officer, USS Matthew Decker, Stardate 25753479.2. Well, we've officially hit the 3-month mark for our mission to the Canis Major Dwarf Galaxy, and we've still had no contact at all with Starfleet Command. Right now, we're all focused on the mission to fully establish a beachhead for the Federation here in this satellite galaxy, but the truth is, the lack of contact with home is beginning to erode the perfect veneer of patience that every Federation citizen is supposed to have. Security reports a 54% increase in onboard disputes, something that the USS James T. Kirk and the USS Constitution have both confirmed to be happening on their ships as well. Mission head, the captain of the USS James T. Kirk, Theodore Emmett, has enacted the Janeway Protocol, a series of rules, regulations, and procedures developed in the 24th century. The Janeway Protocol is basically a what-to-do guide for if a starship should find itself stranded a great distance from Federation space. Although it's been updated and reworked constantly, taking into account various situational developments, the truth is, mentally, it hasn't helped much. The patience of 16,432 people spread across the 3 Constitution-class starships assigned to this mission is running rather thin. And although I continue to utilize the Vulcan meditation skills taught to me by my mentor Satam, even I'm feeling the strain. Exploration of the Canis Major Dwarf Galaxy is an amazing assignment, however. Though of course, until Starbase CM1's construction is complete, only 1 starship at a time is allowed to leave the beachhead system, while the other 2 maintain patrols to protect our interests there. The USS Matthew Decker has just completed its survey of one of the nearby star systems, the system labeled ZX3204. At only 3.2 light-years away from the beachhead, it's just a hop, skip, and a quantum slipstream jump away from our temporary home. Initial scans of the system confirmed our long-range sensor scans of it. A mineral-rich star system with an asteroid belt full of dilithium. 2 planets and 3 moons in the system are also Class M, with both planets and even one of the moons showing signs of once being inhabited, but as to where these unknown species went or what happened to them is still unknown. We don't even have a name for any of them yet. Though we've discovered various ruins throughout the system, the truth is, our investigation into exactly what happened in that star system has barely scratched the surface. We do know, however, that whatever happened occurred a very long time ago, about 100,000 years ago to be more precise. Though Satam would probably give me one of his disapproving Vulcan stares for saying this without any proof, I believe that whatever event caused the higher levels of background radiation in this galaxy is connected to the extinction or disappearance of all life in that system. But, like a good science officer, I'll continue to pore over the data and keep my speculations to myself, at least for now. But I have to admit the unease I feel. From the moment we arrived there and I saw the star system on screen, I was filled with a sense of dread. When I was 12, my parents moved us to Mixel 4, a Federation colony in the Beta Magellan region of the Federation. One of the older colonies within the Federation, the locals of Mixel 4 have a legend about a monster which stalks their prey. Federation children, of course, if they're bad. Well, being 12, I of course didn't believe the myth and went out on my own exploring a jungle near my home instead of reporting to class for school. And during this excursion, suddenly I came to realize not only was I lost, but that I was being stalked by something. I had never been more scared in my life about anything. That is, until I saw the ruins left in system ZX3204. Of course, the truth was that it was no monster stalking me back then, but rather a Maxalian Vooper cat that was simply curious about who was in the jungle, and had taken a liking to me. So much so that eventually I named it Stalker, and it became a family pet. And maybe the same type of situation is happening here. Maybe my imagination is simply getting the better of me, but my gut is telling me no. That something bad is waiting for us in the shadows of this satellite galaxy, and that we should just all pack up and get as far away from here as we can. And again, I feel Satam's disapproving gaze descending on me. I miss him and all my friends and family I left behind in the Milky Way. I really hope everyone's okay and that I get to see them all soon. But I will continue to do my duty as a Starfleet officer in the best tradition of the Federation. I will buckle down and keep myself focused on the mission and attempt to unravel the mysteries of this satellite galaxy. End of log.
Though colorful and not factually based, Lieutenant Commander Jenivan VanDorra's feelings about the situation the Starfleet Task Force had found themselves in were not too far off base. The presence of the USS James T. Kirk, the USS Matthew Decker, and the USS Constitution in the Canis Major Dwarf Galaxy had not went unnoticed, for in the shadows, an ever-watchful eye kept its gaze fixed on the task force, reporting back to its masters everything it had bared witness to. And with this watchful eye, the masters would set into motion a chain of events no one could have predicted. Jenivan VanDorra would continue his investigation into System ZX-3204, right up until his death 36 days later in what would become known as the Cat and Mouse Incident. As a result of the bravery shown by the Lieutenant Commander, sacrificing himself to save the USS Matthew Decker, Captain Theodore Emmett, mission leader, would create the VanDorra Medal of Honor, which would be bestowed on any task force member who displayed exceptional heroic bravery in the face of impossible odds. An award that was still being used over a century later, when Starfleet Command finally re-established contact with the Canis Major Dwarf Galaxy, and found a thriving version of the Federation alive and well, operating within the satellite galaxy's borders. And although eager to absorb this other federation, known as the United Federation of Allied Planets, into their Federation family, it would be events such as the sacrifice of Lieutenant Commander Jenivan VanDorra and the upcoming Master War, which would begin to shine a light on the true Great Divide that had evolved between the Milky Way and the Canis Major Dwarf Galaxy, and force Starfleet Command and the Federation to confront an idealized version of its past self, one that had not almost collapsed, one that had not experienced the burn, one that had developed through sheer force of will and the unending tenacity of a Federation now unrecognizable and alien to them. Starfleet Command and the United Federation of Planets were forced to look into the mirror of themselves and see that their own reflection had cracked.